LoreWarrior Aerotech, Mule-class dropship. The Mule-class dropship is one of the most commonly encountered civilian dropships in the inner sphere. Massing at just over 11,000 tons, this transport is capable of carrying close to 8,500 tons of cargo. The ship's uncomplicated design and ease of maintenance make it one of the more affordable and popular vessels in use today. The Mule's squat, spheroid hull is roughly 61 meters high and 158 meters across, and is moderately armored for protection against pirate attack and natural space hazards. The vessel's small assortment of weaponry includes a single LRM-10 in the front, a pair of medium lasers on each of the front sides, and an aft-mounted autocannon 5 and medium laser, and an LRM-10 and a pair of medium lasers mounted in each of the rear side weapon bays. The vessel normally carries 4 tons of ammunition in bins located near each weapon bay. The Mule's interior resembles that of other spheroid dropships such as the Union and Seeker. Its fusion power plant and engine core are contained in a fat, cylindrical section that runs about 2/3 of the way from the bottom to the center of the ship. In a ring at the outer edge of the Mule's lower deck is an equipment section containing the ship's 4 stubby but sturdy landing legs, and also in this ring are the ship's main heat sinks, fuel tankage, and the rear side weapon bays. Filling the space between the equipment rings and the engine core is the lower cargo bay, which holds up to 3,500 tons of cargo, or approximately 41% of the Mule's capacity. Near the center of the bay then are 4 large 200-ton capacity cargo elevators used to carry cargo between this deck and the 2 cargo decks in the ship's upper area. In front of each elevator is the entrance to one of the 4 large cargo ramps, and these have caused many take-off disasters. When the ship's drives fire up, a scorching blast immediately hits the ship's underside, and if the ramps aren't securely retracted, the blast can rip out a ramp, severely damaging the interior of the lower cargo bay. In one famous incident, a Mule-class dropship was delivering supplies to a mercenary unit. Explosive ammunition was being unloaded from the ship's lower deck when an enemy ground force penetrated the defending perimeter and began to fire on the dropship. The captain ordered an immediate launch, and though the ramps were retracted, one had failed to secure completely. When the drives fired, the blast ripped through the ramp and hit the cargo. The resulting explosions completely gutted the ship, killing everyone aboard. This incident led directly to improved cargo handling standards and procedures that most Mule captains and crews use to this day. The drive blast problems also create troubles with the Mule's landing gear, as the engine blast tends to scorch the interior of the landing gear wells, singeing cables and various control lines as it goes. Because of this, the cable assemblies must be replaced about every 20 liftoffs. If they aren't replaced, the control lines might fail, causing the landing gear to lock in an up or down position, or even somewhere in between. Above the topmost cargo deck are 3 large decks that make up the ship's command section. The top deck contains the electronics, docking adapter, and forward weapons bay. On the deck below is the ship's spacious bridge, a large personal airlock, water tankage, food storage, personal gear storage, the medical bay, a large mess facility, a comfortable lounge, and 20 single occupancy rooms for the crew. In the bottom deck of the command section are waste processing facilities, a large hydroponic garden, the ship's laundry, its life support, and emergency batteries. Also on this deck is a separate area composed of 3 specialized rooms. One is an observation room that overlooks the upper cargo deck. In front of the large downward angled window is a communications panel connected to a loudspeaker in the cargo bay below. The crew often use this room as an extra lounge, but its main purpose is for meetings with customers and for coordinating cargo handling operations. The second room contains 3 large wall-sized screens that display local exchange rates and prices for various goods and services. The screens are tied into a communication system that picks up information broadcast by planetary marketing agencies. Many planets don't normally have access to this type of information, but on these worlds, the screens do display known or estimated market prices and exchange rates. In the center of the room is a small table and a pair of chairs, the room normally being used by the ship's captain, who handles most transaction details. The third room is a central communications facility for tracking and coordinating planetary activities and communications monitoring systems tied directly into the local information broadcast to provide data to the market display room. These comm systems also keep close touch with purchasing agents and its sellers. So the Mule class, it's a big one. It's quite a big one. It's a big squat thing. It's a spheroid-class ship, obviously, 11,200-ton total tonnage. Its dimensions is 100.4 meters height and 158 meters width, with a crew of 20. Its cargo complement is 8,450 exactly. It's armed with an AC-5, 2 SRM-6, 3 large lasers, 8 medium lasers, and 2 small lasers. Its drive system is the GE-2080. First introduced in 2737, so it's got some age to it, and it's considered quite common. It has a thrust of 3 and an overthrust of 5, and its armour is 50 on the nose, 60 on the sides, 90 on the fuselage, and 40 on the engine. Weapons are located with the AC-5, medium laser and 2 smalls in the nose. The sides have an SRM-6 and 2 medium lasers. The rear sides have a large laser and a medium laser, while the aft has a large laser and a medium laser. So, yeah, fire all around, but not a lot, obviously, which is exactly what you would expect from a civilian dropship. You know, these things aren't upgunned to take on other aircraft or other dropships. This is just enough to maybe get a pirate group to back off, kind of thing. But I hardly doubt Mule-class dropships are supposed to be getting anywhere into a location that pirates would be frequenting, unless, yeah, I guess the captain's taking a bit of a dodgy contract to try and jump through an area that may or may not be predated by bandits or pirates. Probably something that's also quite commonly used by mercenaries, obviously. I imagine these things are probably a mercenary company's first major purchase once they start, you know, getting up there, getting a bit more cash under them. Because these are important for carrying pretty much the entirety of your supplies, isn't it, really? You know, your buccaneer can carry your vehicles if you're more of a vehicle-focused mercenary company, but this is the thing that's going to be carrying most of your ammunition and your other supplies and that kind of thing. So, yeah, it's an important one to own, or at least to have a captain who's under contract with you that obviously travels with the Merc company as necessary. So there's a really interesting side to Battletech's universe with the way you have jump ship and dropship captains. There's a similarity, a very, very sort of slight similarity to things like Rogue Trader and 40k, with this idea that the captain of such a vessel does actually command a fair amount of respect and power. The ability to literally leave a system and go wherever they want in any faction space does mean that they have a certain amount of power. Controlling a ship like a Mule class, even as a civilian one, is an important asset. Being able to approach a mercenary company with the idea of being able to work for them as their, you know, as a transport for their organization is guaranteed work, you know, regular pay, and obviously a certain amount of safety, of course. It also means that they can easily hire their ship out for great houses, periphery states, that kind of thing, and working independently. The one thing that I do 100% don't agree with is the fact that apparently only certain systems are able to broadcast the market prices for things. I mean, local communications in systems shouldn't be that shouldn't be that lost tech, I think. I mean, it's literally just it's like a fucking stock exchange information, right? I mean, it's just you turn up and there's a signal being broadcast that is specific, like, you know, cheese is worth this much, you know, steel is down, you know, that kind of thing. You're telling me like planets can't just have that as a thing that couldn't be broadcast for the Mule class to pick up? I mean, it's on the screens and it gives live data updates. Well, that's like connecting to the Wi-Fi, right? That's literally all it would be doing. So I would personally discount that as not something that isn't. I imagine most planets that are being visited by merchant ships probably have that system installed. You know, like a podunk agricultural world, probably not. I mean, what were they just like? We're selling grain. We've got grain. What do you want? Are you a merchant? Right, we've got grain and it costs this much. Master, that's what we're selling. You know, it's not like they're going to some kind of like heavily developed world. So I could understand, you know, it's like if you turn up here, you're buying fucking crops, or you're getting a load of livestock or something like that. That's what you're going for, and you know the price ahead of time. You know, but I imagine just most systems that are, you know, wheeling and dealing in a range of different products probably just have this system to be able to go like, oh yeah, here's the, you know, the current exchange rates and prices for things. So yeah, I don't 100% buy that bullshit. to be honest. Anyway, I've rambled. But that's the Mule class. Yeah, it's common. It's quite a cool one. There are others in here. We've got the Monarch class coming up with a Monarch, as it said in America. That's a weird one. The Monarch. And then we've got the Mammoth. Oh, that is truly a big ship. That one. That is colossal size. The Behemoth. And then you got yeah, there's other small craft in there as well. Lifeboats, escape pods and stuff. Shuttles. A bus. You got a space bus. Oh, Varak would be happy. The Mark 7 landing craft. All these kind of things. All these dropships and jumpships. It's a great book. If you haven't picked it up, it is worth picking up because it's got some really good stuff in there that just isn't very commonly discussed in BattleTech. You don't really see it in games and stuff. I mean, this book has space stations as well. I mean, how often do you ever remember hearing about space stations in BattleTech? Right, not that often, right? But they exist. There's a fair number of them. So yeah, if you're looking for a book gives you something a bit different about BattleTech, yeah, Dropships and Jumpships, a classic. It should be available on like Drive for RPG and stuff like that. So yeah, pick up a copy if you're interested in reading it for yourself. Some nice artwork as well. Anyway, have a good one all. Thanks for listening. I'll catch you next time. Bye bye.